Hey everyone, it's Cygnus and welcome back to Hexxit 2. So, while I was gone, I decided to do a little bit of cleaning up. I went ahead and cleaned up the house, made it a lot prettier than when we left off in the last episode, and also got some more grass in this area. I did have to do a bit of exploring just to go find some resources, made a little moat. You can see down there I added some stairs. We'll be checking out the inside in a minute. And just generally tried to clean this area up, make it look a little nicer because we have some plans today. We need to set up a farm, and we need to start getting into Tinker's Construct, which is a mod basically just about making different weapons and armor. And this is our basement. It's a little leaky. We'll we'll fix that later. But But we have up here, this is going to be our main storage room, and downstairs we'll start doing some Tinker's Construct stuff. But I did want to show you guys a few things before we get into that. So in some of my exploration, I found a couple interesting things. There was a jumping creeper in there a little bit ago. But over here, sun's going to be setting soon, there is a cave. And this cave, wherever it is, leads down into something interesting. Is it over here? Yeah, it's right here. Wait, is this it? No, this isn't the right cave. It's around here somewhere. Here it is. We ended up running right past it, but I was going down into this cave, getting some iron that was around here, and look what I found. This is a preview of the dungeon tower that we're right by. So that actually is a secret way down in there without having to go through the main stairs. But we'll be tackling that when we're a little more prepared. Enemies hit really hard in hardcore mode, and there's a lot of enemies down there. In other mod packs I've played, those things are just completely loaded with enemies at all times. But what I really wanted to show you guys is up on the top of this mountain. Well, it may take us a second to get up there. I think it's going to be up this way. Ah, yeah, here they are. There are chocobos right by where we're living, and they drop chocobo feathers. And this is from the ChocoCraft Plus mod, and I am a huge Final Fantasy nerd, so we are definitely going to be making friends with these guys. They probably want Geshl greens. That's what they usually eat in Final Fantasy. So we'll have to go out and find some of those and start a farm in order to make friends with these chocobos and bring them home. But I don't think they're going to go anywhere. As long as we keep sleeping through the night, nothing's going to end up eating them. And speaking of, looks like the sun's setting, so let's go ahead and get some sleep, and then we can start on preparing for Tinker's Construct in the morning. Alright, it's the next day, so let's go ahead and head downstairs. This is where we're going to start setting up our Tinker's stuff. We'll expand this area out, but for now, all we need is the Tinker's table. So this is the crafting station that you'll use for basically all Tinker's Construct builds. So we'll make a little nook right here, and this will be where we're going to start putting a lot of our crafting things. So there's a lot of different tables that you use for Tinker's Construct, and the first one is the crafting table. This crafting table works like a normal crafting table, but there are some extra utilities that it gives, such as being able to put together Tinker's tools. Now, in addition to the crafting table, we also need to start making these blank patterns, and we can do that by just making some sticks, splitting it up like that, and there we go. We got blank patterns, and we got 8 of them. And we'll need to make a pattern table as well. And we'll need to make a pattern chest, so I think, yeah, we can just make one now. And this is where we can store all of our patterns. So we have a blank pattern right there, but we also want the ability to make other types of patterns. So we will start on doing that. Now you can see in the crafting station here, we also have access to the pattern chest, and that's how Tinker's Construct works. You get a bunch of different tables, bunch of stations working together to basically allow you to build much better equipment than what you might have access to normally. So let's also go ahead and make a tool station. Just need a crafting table and a blank pattern. Go ahead and set that down. Now we've unlocked the tool station. This is where we can put together the tools that we make. And we'll need to make another table called a stencil table, which we'll set right there. Now the stencil table lets us plan out different patterns. So we can make a pickaxe head pattern right there, and also let's make a tool rod pattern. And we can use that over here. We'll end up making... And we can use these to cast out different materials that we will then put into tools. Now, to do that, we're actually going to need to make a couple more things other than just what we have. So we're going to need to make a forge, but we can't do that just yet, and there's a lot of preparing we need to do first. So we can at least start with some other also important materials. So let's go ahead and make the part builder, and we'll have to expand this out. There we go. So with the part builder, we can combine different elements that are readily available to start making different parts. So let's go ahead and get a couple different materials just to test it. Okay. So we put in a pattern here. It needs 1 iron, needs 2 iron. Now, okay, I almost forgot that in order for us to actually use the part builder with iron, we'll need to construct this smeltery. But in the meantime, we can use 2 stone on a pickaxe head to make the stone pickaxe head. And we can also do this again with the stone tool rod. And then we can go over here to the tool station. We can pick the pickaxe. We can set those in there. Now we need this one last tool called the crossguard, which we'll go ahead and stencil out. This is a binding pattern. And we'll go ahead and make the binding pattern out of wood. So we got a wooden binding and we got some wooden shards. And then we put the binding in and we get a clumsy stone pickaxe. Now, the difference between this pickaxe and a pickaxe you might make in a normal crafting table, this pickaxe, when it breaks, you can repair it. It never goes away, and that was weird. And you never lose it. So you can just always have this pickaxe, and it's not going anywhere. If it breaks, you just fix it. So we're going to start on making the smeltery. Smeltery is a multi-block, and it's quite large, so we're going to have to do some planning beforehand. And I'm going to mine out a pretty large section, and I will see you guys once I've done that. Just a quick reminder, according to YouTube statistics, about 40% of the people that watch my videos aren't even subscribed. So, if you're watching and you like my videos, go ahead and click that fancy red button and the bell icon right beside it. You'll get notified whenever I put up any new content, and it helps out the channel and lets me know to keep making this stuff. Anyways, let's get back to the video. So, I was just in the process of mining, and I think I just heard a falling star land right by our house. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, right there, okay. So, this is part of, I think, the Meteors mod. And this is a big fat hairy deal. That's an ogre. Okay, hi buddy. You stay right over there. Okay, let's go back inside and sleep, because I don't want to fight that. That thing is huge, and I am not. Okay, now how do we use this? Let's see. What is a fallen star? What is that used for? So we can use it to make star blocks or brew elixir of stardew. That's interesting. We need a lunar water bottle to do that. Okay. Well, I'm going to get back to mining, and we will worry about this fancy little falling star later. Alright, we got the area planned out for our smeltery. It's not going to be this big initially, because we are going to have to build a smaller one, because in order to make the smeltery, we're going to need grout. And grout requires, I believe, sand and gravel and clay. Let's double check that. Grout. There we go. So grout requires clay, sand, and gravel. So we're going to have to go out and find us some of that. Now to do so, we are going to have to, unfortunately, venture into dangerous territory. Most of the materials that we're looking for can be found underwater. And this area, I don't trust it. So we're going to be very careful looking around through here. No risks need to be taken. And this is actually one of those rare cases you don't want to get flint. Normally, if you're breaking gravel, you're doing it for flint. But in this case, we actually need that gravel. Now, I have to keep my eyes open for any hint of a crocodile. Because those things... I was watching someone else play them and... oh boy, they're scary. Oh boy, they are terrifying. Okay, let's get all this clay. And our sand. Yep. Here we go. Oh, and there's gravel underneath it. That's so convenient. So we're going to need a lot of this stuff. All right, now that we've got all of those materials, I think we can go ahead and head back to our base of operations and get some grout made. And then we'll start prepping to turn that into seared bricks, which I think we really just need coal for. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we just have to cook it in a furnace and that'll pretty much satisfy all that. Okay, let's craft some grout. We want to craft some clay blocks first so it's more efficient. There's the grout. We got a lot of it. Amazing. And then we just cook that in a furnace. We'll split that into 2 stacks. We'll let that cook. And while that's cooking, we need to set up some sustainable farming. Because right now, we are not eating well. I'm basically surviving entirely on pork chops obtained from the local pigs. But that's not going to keep us living. So let's get a farm going. I'll go ahead and clear this area out, and I will be back with you guys once I've got a little area cleaned up. All right, this area should be sufficient for a farm, at least for now. We can get something started. I am speaking, sir. Can you not? Oh, his noises continued after death for a second there. Okay, this looks so jank. We'll go ahead and get this farm started, actually. I want to get that going as soon as possible, so we're going to make some fences. Oh, didn't mean to turn all of those, but that's okay. We got more wood. There we go. And I always mess up making fences. Now, why make fences? Well, we can jump them, but monsters can't. So, let's actually sleep first. Come on, let me sleep. There we go. Alright, as I was saying, we can jump them, but monsters can't. So we can set up a pretty safe farm without worrying about monsters breaking in. And monsters can and will trample your crops. They always do. So let's get a pretty decently sized area for this farm. Here we go. This is good sized. Let's hope I lined this up right. And I did. So this is going to be a multi-purpose farm. We're probably going to do a couple different things with it. Let's line it up here. Now when we come out, we can come over here, we can get our food. But this is also going to be where we're going to be storing our chocobo. Or at least hanging out with our chocobo. We'll probably get something built back in that area specifically for them. But I think we have enough seared bricks to get started with our plans. So we need to make first and foremost, a seared brick. There we go. So it's just 4 of these. That's easy. If I can click properly. We're going to need just a couple of those. We're going to need a seared tank. We need some glass for that. I think I have some glass somewhere here. Don't think I've used all of it. Where'd I put it? Huh, do I not have glass? Could have sworn. Ah, there it is. Okay. I was wondering. Okay, we need a seared tank, a seared drain, a seared furnace controller, so we'll make a furnace for that. Seared furnace controller. And we can just turn the rest into seared bricks. So I believe now we should have everything we need to at least start with the seared tank. So I have just realized, while tearing this whole thing apart to figure out why it might not be working, that I have made a seared furnace controller. I need a smeltery controller. And that would be why things aren't working right. I need the smeltery controller, and I've been trying to make a furnace. So let's go ahead and make that controller. There we go. We'll use the seared furnace controller later. But for now, let's stick on the smeltery controller, seared drain, and a seared tank. There we go. That's what it's supposed to do. And we can actually increase this in height by 1. Just so we can do a bit more with it. Oh, careful there. So now we need to be careful to not fall in, because it will be very hot. I believe. Is it there yet? No, it's not. Okay. So what we can do is we can start smelting these immediately. And all of these will start to heat up. It will take some time, and the lava will eventually run out. But we can handle that later. That's sort of a smaller issue, but before we can do anything just yet, we need a casting basin. So the casting table and basin and channel. Let's go grab the resources to make that. We can go ahead and sleep real fast. It is nighttime. We actually need to run out and obtain some of the materials because I did not realize we're out of grout. So let's go get some more clay. And I think, yeah, more gravel and sand should be useful. And there's a skeleton over there. I'm not going to worry about him. He's minding his own business. We'll mind ours. You're a zombie that isn't minding his own business. That would be him. There we go. Let's get our clay. Oh, got a little stuck there. Wasn't good. Actually, got a bit worried. And we're gonna have to mess with that skeleton. He's not gonna mind his business once we start getting this gravel. There we go. Took him out easy. And here we go. Let's get all this. There's a lot of things we have to do to make this work right. Okay, that should be enough for now. Don't think we're going to need much more than this, at least for the time being. And later we can start making seared stone, which will let us expand our stuff a little faster. Okay, let's make that grout. I can never remember the recipe, and I never will. And we'll split that between our furnaces and let that go. We now have in here some molten ingots. That's a seared faucet. Now we'll be right back while we wait for these seared bricks to cook. Okay, I think there might be enough there. Let's get the casting. There's a couple things we need to make with it. Casting table, first and foremost. Casting basin. And a casting channel can wait. So, what we're going to use first, the casting table. So, let's go ahead and get this set down here. Casting table. There we go. Alright, so let's say we want to make a... What can we make? Kind of want to make a hammer. Let's go drop this in here. And I think we can just turn it on. I don't know how, though. Maybe we need to melt some gold first and make a gold stencil out of that. I think I remember that. It's been a very long time since I've done anything related to tinkers. We'll go ahead and let this cook down. We'll see if that's what we need. Alright, so it did make a blank cast. I think I have a hammerhead somewhere that we can make a cast out of. Let's see. Yeah, right here. We have a wooden hammerhead, and we can make a wooden hammer cast out of this with our gold. So that's going to cook, and then we'll pop it out. Actually, we won't even need to do that. We can then swap it with the iron, pour that into the cast, and come on. And while that dries, get a tool rod. Let's do a stone tool rod. That's going to take a second to dry. Or rather, cool. I suppose that's kind of the same thing. Because it's a liquid right now, and it's turning not liquid. Now we have an iron hammerhead. Let's go ahead and do a stone tool rod. Swap the gold. There we go. I don't believe the stone tool rod will get destroyed, but if it does, that's fine. And we'll swap out for the iron. And I think we have enough iron to make the stone tool rod. Or the steel tool rod. We do. The iron tool rod, right. Now, I think we can start the process of making a hammer. Alright, so I just remembered that the tool I'm trying to make requires the tool forge. So, we'll get into that a little bit later because we need to smelt down a lot of iron. But a convenient little feature of this smeltery is we can actually use this to refine ores more efficiently. So it'll make ores that are... So it'll melt down ore into more iron or gold or copper or tin than what you would normally get from those resources. So, in a way, it's a form of ore duplication. And I think we can actually test that real fast with some copper ore. Go ahead and chuck that in. And it's going to start cooking it. See? It's heating it up. And once that's done, it'll boil it down into basically just copper and rock. Now, there are certain materials, if we throw in together, will immediately make an alloy. For example, coal and iron will start to alloy. So we have to be careful not to combine two resources that do that, because then we end up with a different problem on our hands. Let's go ahead and expand this a bit. Can make this a little taller. There we go. And now it has more storage. And see, now we have molten copper. But I think that's going to be it for this episode. We've got a decent amount done with Tinker's Construct. Frankly, not as much as I would have liked. But we have started on a farm. Well, we made a perimeter for a farm. And we got started on Tinker's Construct. But I think I am going to call it here. So until next time, bye-bye.